Are you like a crazy person?
I'm quite sure they will say so.
You're listening to Comics Podcasting on the edge of civility.
Yeah, well, I'm ready to go if you're ready to go. Are you ready to go?
Where?
On the show?
What?
Go on the show. Are you ready to go on with the show?
Go on with the show.
Yes, go on to
go
the
on
show. Go on the show. Just, oh, for fuck's sake.
Why do you make these things so
Work
complicated?
with me. It's not complicated. You're just dumb.
Oh. That's hurtful.
God. Yeah, well, so is your voice.
You're just mad because I saw Star Wars and you didn't.
Oh, I could have taken the day off. It wouldn't have been no big deal.
You're mad. Don't even. There's not a chance in the world that you are not frustrated by that. The world's laziest man actually does something before you.
Second laziest man.
All right, fair enough.
Hey, kids. It's episode 228 of TMG Cast. Formerly the Mean Geek, comics podcasting on the edge of civility. Guess who I am?
Hacker Man.
I am not Hacker Man, despite how cool Kung Fury was. I am the Tech Jedi, Adrian Hunter. And you are... Introduce yourself again.
Oh, okay. The Reverend Mad Duck, Quackity Quackity or some shit.
Thank you very much. And we talk lots of comics.
Because we are...
I already said the name.
Oh. Tamuggy!
Oh, I hate it when you do that. Why do you insist on that? Every week you make me ask you why you insist on that. Cut it out.
It's a true Merry Christmas.
Knock it off. Not quite. Merry Christmas? I don't think so.
Oh, good point. Wait, no. Oh, TMG, yeah. Forgot my own podcast. Well, I'm really, just hired muscle in an entertainment kind of way. Because in real life, no, not so much.
Hired wit, maybe. Except I don't pay you.
You're like a lowbrow Mark Twain, son. Just shut up and write about steamboats.
That's about it, really. So on 128, we're eventually going to talk about October 2015's indies. But, yeah, Christmas is here.
That's true.
Which means Star Wars is here.
That's true.
You saw it.
That's true.
I didn't.
That's true.
You're going to gloat until 10 a.m. tomorrow?
Probably, a little bit. Here's the main thing. I'm not going to talk about the movie at all because I would never do that to you, and you know. What I will tell you is that it is rare for me to feel like one of the cooler people in a room. And at 9 a.m. on a Friday, when the theater is packed and there are 5 kids in the entire theater, I'm like fucking Frank Sinatra in that shit, it turns out. Like, my mind was blown, man, because I had nothing to do with it whatsoever.
Yeah.
I had no idea when a buddy of mine calls me, he's like, take this day off. So I take this day off. I'm like, why? Are we playing poker? He's like, no, we're going to Star Wars. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? So obviously, my agenda was not on point for this. I had to drive to fucking Danbury in the east end of nowhere.
Oh, shit. You didn't even go to Middletown? You
No.
had to go to Danbury?
Oh, because of 3D IMAX.
Oh.
There's a little envy.
IMAX fine. 3D can't give a shit.
It was very cool at first, and then it was completely pointless. Like, I think that 3D starts awesome, and then eventually you don't care.
Yeah.
But like the first shot of a destroyer coming at you in 3D was pretty fucking cool. Like, I'm like, oh, now I get it. And then later on, I'm like, this. But here's the thing. Like, it wasn't even that, though. I'm just looking at all these people. It's 9 a.m. What are you doing with an extra large Coke, a bag of popcorn, and fucking nachos? It's 9 motherfucking a.m. Like,
At
we
9
went
a.m., I want a goddamn omelet. That's what
we
the
went
fuck
to
I want.
lunch afterwards, and I didn't even get a beer. That's how fucking early it was. It's like, no! What is wrong with you people?
Well, you had to wait for the scotch for tonight anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Nachos are not breakfast.
No. That's bleh. I don't know. Some people can eat anything at any time, and I'm like, there are appropriate time frames. Don't raise your hand. You could do it.
I won't,
You
but
won't.
I'm totally capable of it. Cast iron reverend over here.
But every second was enjoyable and worthwhile, huh?
Okay, let me put it to you this way. When is the last time you saw a film in the theater,
Yeah?
even one you enjoyed, and didn't once think about, I wonder how much longer this is going on for? You know what I mean? Like that moment as you get older where that chair starts to remind you that you're fucking uncomfortable, and you're like, like, I just saw Spectre, and I love Spectre. I love Bond. And I was sitting there like, this is a long motherfucking Bond movie. Like, shoot some more people, James. Get your shit together. I need to go.
Didn't happen here, huh?
I didn't think about a bathroom, didn't think about leaving, didn't think about anything other than being 5 years old and watching fucking Han Solo for the first time. Shit was fun.
That's good. That's very good. Have you made any geeky Christmas wishes?
I bought a geeky Christmas present.
For me?
You already have it. Fucko.
Yes, and it's an amazing book, and I can't wait to get to it. Okay. No, it's great. It is. I mean,
What the hell was that?
just being weird. Jesus Christ. You know.
I
me
thought
by
it was
now.
pretty cool. I'm going to be honest. Like,
It is. Wally Wood's non-EC 50s horror and crime shit.
Yep.
How much better do you get than that?
I did not expect to find that. I really, like, you've become kind of a pain in the ass for me because I refuse to go by your list. I'm like, you know what? Those are for people who don't know him. I should know him well enough to be able to do this shit on my own. But you're not really a movie guy anymore.
No, I've
And
had
you've
it with
grown to
owning
hate
that stuff.
tchotchkes.
Oh, God. Fuck tchotchkes. Man.
So it leaves, a slimmer and slimmer area of hope. It's like, well, it's going to be a graphic then, and it's got to be something relatively cool, or he's just like, well, I could have gotten this used for $5.
Yeah, but it still made you pay for it, so it's all right.
Yeah, fair enough. But still, like last time for your birthday, I got you the Christmas Marvel Treasury edition.
Yes. I got to pull that out and set. I would set it right next to the tree, but some cat would piss on it. Yeah. So I can't have that. It's bagged. I can't run the risk that cat pee is actually corrosive.
You need to get an Instagram account so you can start posting all of your Christmas covers for the holidays.
Oh. I got to gather them all up.
Which you should do anyway.
Yeah. But that's going to take some time. Well, I've got 10 days off, don't I?
When is the big...
when I walk out of work on Christmas Eve, I do not come back till 9 a.m. January 4th.
See, I have 8 or 9 days off the last week of January.
Oh, well. So, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I can talk more about the film, but I really don't want to go into... Like, obviously, for the listener, it's not going to
Impressions are fine.
Yeah.
You know,
Like,
and
we
I couldn't give a shit about spoilers, but, I mean...
With this, you kind of do a little bit.
Yeah?
You know?
Yeah, they're that interesting?
No, they're not. Like, the movie is very good. It goes interesting places, but I don't think anything's going to be like, holy shit, I didn't see that coming.
Ah, okay.
The biggest thing coming, if you put any kind of research into this, and I tried very hard. I read a couple of interviews with people, and I saw like 2 trailers, and that's it. And I was like, this is probably going to happen. And it did.
Yeah. The guy at work said almost the same thing. We were watching it, and something occurred, and I put my hand on my girlfriend's leg, and I was like, they're not going to do that, are they? 2 minutes later, they did it! And he wouldn't tell me what it was. I'm like, fine, whatever. It's okay.
Like I said, I wouldn't put any time into trying to figure it out, because that's one game. But, like I said, you won't be sitting there like, I can't believe they did that. It's shocking, but you're like, yeah, it's totally believable.
All right. Well, that's acceptable. And, are you wishing for anything geeky?
I'm assuming, knowing you, I'm getting something geeky. Actually, maybe not. You usually just go off the wish list.
That's not a good bet, actually.
No, that's true. I don't know. The way you said it kind of threw me, but no. You like to pick the more obscure things off my wish list. Like, this has been on here since 2007. Enjoy.
It's true, man. You haven't taken them off, so there's an interest in there somewhere. So I won't make you spend for something you're like, why? There
There usually is like a February or March period. I'm like, well, I'll take a couple of bucks, possibly Christmas money if that shows up at all, and ding a couple things off that list. Like, you know what? Here, a little self-Christmas. Boom, boom, boom.
There you go.
Which you have to do because you're people buying off your wish list become fewer and fewer.
Yeah.
People keep going off books.
The same stuff all the time.
That's because you haven't bought it.
Well, dude, I don't want jewelry. I'm not running around with pendants. I ain't asking people to buy me fucking clothes. I'm not asking for that. That's ridiculous.
Well, the only thing they buy you is
I've
t-shirts.
never been a clothes horse.
And you have more than enough Star Wars t-shirts.
Yeah. I mean, what am I going to say? Go get me a VGA card with 2 gig and, it's $300, Age. I'm not getting you that. Then I don't want nothing.
A Daryl Dixon vinyl pop Funko.
Nope.
Or,
and I can't even make fun of that
Deadpool?
shit anymore because my fucking sister listens to this thing and she got me that shit.
Hey, you know what?
Sorry, Dale.
I think they're kind of neat looking.
You go have fun with them. You want mine?
No.
All right, I think we've played fuck around enough on this. This is 10 minutes of nothing.
Nothing, but I've seen Star Wars and you haven't.
And eat a dick. Are you ready to talk about the Goon-THEATRE Bazaar?
See, I thought this was a one-shot, but it's actually an issue.
Is it?
It's a one-shot issue, but...
Lords of Misery prelude.
But it seems to... if you open it up, it actually has a number on the inside. Like,
oh, no.
In the indica.
It felt enough like a... Well, nothing else has been solicited, so I just called it even.
Yeah, it's just straight up...
Oh, the Goon 54.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Would never have known.
Nope, wouldn't at all. Oh,
I
well.
thought I got it because it was a one shot because we don't get it regularly.
Well, at any rate, what we got here is the Goon and Company come upon the Theater Bazaar, a carnival run by Zombo, Clown of the Dead, or some shit like that. Roxy, the burlesque girl, Queen of Cooch, as is noted. Please, I did not make that up.
No, that is entirely. As
the
much
book.
as I like to blame you for that,
I was not happy reading the words Queen of Cooch.
Well, they mean coochie coochie coo.
Yeah, sure they do. She's trying to get out of this gig because she signed it with Devil Boy Zombo or some shit. And she doesn't want to deal with it. She's tired of it. She wants to go do different things. And there's this joke happens that where if she could get somebody to just take her place, then she'd be released from her contract with Zombo.
This is an important rule. Like, I have never run away from home to join the circus, but if you're going to do that, and it's harder these days. Like, back in the 30s, you just fucking jump a rail, find a circus in 8 minutes. Next thing you know, you're a star. And then suddenly you fall in love with the beautiful trapeze artist, but the strongman husband of hers tries to murder you, and then you get framed, and you have to run from the law. This happened constantly. But these days, circuses they're rare. So you've got to prepare. And if you're going to do that, you've got to make a concerted effort to avoid the undead circuit. Like, come on, people. Put some... there's a fucking Google out there for a reason.
That is
Should
true.
I sign with Zombo? No, Zombo eats your soul. Okay, I'm going to say no. Thanks for the half a horse you offered me. That sounded awesome, but I'm going to pass.
Wow. Jumping right the fuck in. So yeah, she suddenly takes that as headcanon, and that's what's going to happen. That's all she has to do is get somebody to replace her, and it'll be okay. So she tries to convince Frank of this.
The tiny kid?
Yeah, and tries to get him to end up dealing with the contract and taking her place. But of course, since she took a joke way too fucking seriously, that wasn't true.
I love that. Like, first off, if I were trapped in an undead circus from hell, like, any glimmer of hope, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I gotta fucking sign somebody up to Shitville that I can get the hell home. But secondly, the fact that the baby fucking werewolf is like, no, I'm not signing up for this. And then immediately goes to the goon like, hey, they tried to do this. I'm pretty sure Frankie's going to sign up. Like, that's hysterical to me.
That was amusing.
Like, this sounds dumb and I'm 5. I bet you Frankie will fall for this.
And Frank's entire quest this entire time is like, where's the Hoochie Coochie girls? This whole time, it's like, are they on the fairgrounds? Are they on the, what parts of the carnival are there?
They're kind of a odd.
There's the fairway.
Fairway, the sideshow, the the big tent, I guess.
Yeah. But the thing is, he just keeps looking for him over and over and over again. And he's like, where's the beer? Where's the ass?
It's like you back in the 90s.
Late 90s.
Yeah.
Wait. Early 90s. Early 90s. It was terrible. I was wrong. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Anyway, it actually was a fun book for once. I enjoyed it.
I think The Goon is great. I know. Well, you also enjoyed the 3 out of 4 of the miniseries we got.
Yeah.
When The Goon has a light, wacky humor and kind of a dark undertone, you're usually comfortable with it.
Yeah.
When it goes sophomoric, it goes so horribly sophomoric that it tends to drive you crazy.
Yeah, a little bit. And I don't want to be crazy.
It beat the shit out of that friggin' Nothing But Misery midget or whatever the hell.
Oh my God, Big Man Plans. Holy crap. Yeah, I saw a solicit for an oversized hardcover for that. Ooh. It was like, what kind of sadistic fuck needs an oversized hardcover of Big Man Plans?
Christmas 2016.
Oh, man, don't even fuck with me on that.
Put that right next to your oversized Men of Wrath for the world's most miserable double team. Get a couple scalp tissues in there. Just shit that hates everything.
And the director's cut of Southern Bastards.
There you go.
Those books are insane.
Maybe a little...
There's like no redeeming qualities to any character.
Yeah, most of those books are fine. It's just they're dark and depressing.
Yeah, and I don't want to be depressed anymore.
Well, that's why you're reading The Goon.
At any rate, we only got Black Hood 6 because of your Chaikin fetish.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but the thing is, Greg is a cop, and he's recuperating in California, and
from a horrible disfigurement.
And in his encounter group are a lot of people, one of which is on the run from the Mexican mob, and one is sent to kill the previous. Oh, it's double-crossing and subterfuge, and was there banging in there?
No,
there was no banging. There was close though, right? She tried to subvert his.
I mean, every woman that Chaikin draws kind of looks like there's some banging in the near future. Let's be honest. No, it's the girl fools him into finding out who's got a history with the mob.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
And he does so to protect her, and then she murders that guy because that's the actual informant, and she's the hitman. And she read his eyes. She's like, "Oh, we're the same." So it's interesting because you've got this one-shot issue after the first big storyline or whatever,
right?
And he screws up pretty fucking badly here. It's a well-done book, and if we came across like a cheap graphic, I think you would agree it would be worth looking at.
Sure.
But I'm not diving back like, we got to go find this immediately based on this scarred guy being a sucky detective or whatever.
Nah, not really. I'm fine with this one. It was a standalone.
It was a fun issue, though.
It was compact. It was well-paced.
Yes, I cannot pronounce his name. Swizerinsky?
Swierczynski, yeah.
He's actually a very good mystery writer, and he did the Cable Deadpool books for years.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we've never read him.
Yeah, Dwayne Swierczynski. Yeah.
But he's perfect for this kind of thriller thing. So, in all honesty, I'm betting this is a good book. It's not getting added to our repertoire or anything. This was just a, hey, I like Chaikin. It's a one issue. Let me nab this.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's we both run our collecting like that all the time.
You tend to go more writers than artists, though.
Yeah.
Except Frank Avila.
Yes. He did a special alternate Leia cover that I saw on Twitter today. Ooh,
bum, 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 bum.
It was heaven.
How the hell did you miss that?
On paper. I don't think it's been published yet. I think it was one of those, look at my upcoming stuff.
So there's another Leia miniseries?
Well, no, I think it was just a cover with her.
Oh, yeah, but...
Yeah. So, that was all right. So, you and I have been enamored of Hellboy and the BPRD. 1953, double feature.
I thought this was
Creature
a lot.
double feature.
I love this. It's exactly what it felt like.
It is. This one is the Phantom Hand and the KELPIE. Now, the Phantom Hand seems to be the remnant hand of a possessed guy hundreds of years ago. Professor, a buddy of his that I don't remember the name of, and HELLBOY are visiting the place it haunts, and HELLBOY throws it in the fire, releasing a demon that HELLBOY eventually beats. Because he's HELLBOY and they're both demons. And he's the Prince of Hell.
It's classic young, dumb HELLBOY wandering into things accidentally. But the professor is Trevor Butenholm, his adopted father.
Right.
And then there's another guy as well that's a friend.
Yeah, the pal that I couldn't remember the name of.
But it's a great jumping on point for light HELLBOY stories.
Sure.
It is a lot of fun. And yet it has that early HELLBOY lighter tone, but it's still dark. Like, you know.
Right. The KELPIE is kind of a bare bones little story about a pal of the prof's that when they were teens was killed by a water horse. Boom, boom. That's about it. It was like 8 pages of mood.
Do you remember the first time you heard about KELPIEs?
No.
No, mine was Mage, actually. Remember when they did the 3 huge Starblaze Mage graphics? They had that 8-page starter where the water horse showed up.
Yeah, I don't remember them calling it a KELPIE, though.
No, but that's what a water horse is, so, I mean, invariably.
I know that now. Oh, didn't you know? It was water horse KELPIE.
Dude, that's gotta suck in the overall, like, in the overall stratosphere of mythical creatures. Like, KELPIE's gotta be low-end name. Like, Barnacle was already like, you know.
No, that is
sea
not...
debris name? Like, that
not
blows.
a great name.
Weedy was done. Like, come on.
Petey Wheatstraw? What?
Devil's Son-in-Law. I actually saw that for sale for $2 the other day.
And you didn't even spend that.
I contemplated it hard.
See, the thing about movies like that is, who the hell are you going to give them to when you're tired of owning it? Don't look at me like... Because I'll give it to Dalton the next day.
It's a win-win, really. I get to frustrate you, and then you get points with Dalton. He'd have loved it.
That is the truth. So, these are enjoyable books, and we will continue to get them, and I'm happy about it. What'd you think of the new BKV joint, Paper Girls?
Brian K. Vaughan is confusing me right now. Like, Rebels didn't go the way I thought it would, and...
That's Brian Wood.
Oh, damn it. But, no, Paper Girls... I don't get it, I guess. Like, it's 4 young girls who are...
Doing their paper routes.
Right, and they're the first girls in the neighborhood to get paper routes. It's the early 80s. Everything feels vaguely Breakfast Clubby.
A little bit, yeah. There's a belligerent cop, and there's the rebel paper girl who leads the others.
Yeah, the techie one.
Yeah.
The sporty one. The new girl. And then they... interfere with what seems to be an alien encounter.
Right.
It feels like an 80s movie. Like, rogue paper girls fight off an alien invasion.
Were you anticipating at any point someone saying, "I want my $2"?
I always anticipate that.
Round about the middle, I'm like, when is somebody going to say, "I want my $2"? And this is now boring. Okay, let's move on. So they eventually find, they track down these potential aliens to a basement, and they find...
Well, they track down punks or whoever stole their paper route money or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't expect it to be aliens until they find the random device.
Which may... Initially, some of them think it's a spaceship, but it's more likely a time machine. I think.
Oh, okay. I was going aliens, but yeah, that works too.
I'm getting a vibe that they're like far-flung, several thousand years in the future guys that are kind of sort of evolved, and they're kind of post-human, you know? I'm leaning toward that.
I mean, you have to say, after having read V, that Vaughn is very solid at female characters, but these feel like archetypes more than characters.
Why?
Oh, good God! I'm constantly slightly off right now. Weird. I'm not even drunk. But you know my point. Like,
Yes.
Yes, because it's Yorick. But yeah, so he writes strong female characters. He has a good tone in that voice for a male author, certainly.
Uh-huh.
But these do not feel like full characters so much as archetypes. Like, I'm going to hit them with my lacrosse stick, and I've got walkies because I'm the investing and smart one.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, it's difficult to get all that packed into a first issue.
Oh, sure.
A big one.
Yeah, you can't remotely say that, like, this book's awful, I don't want to touch this ever again.
Yeah.
You ended up not planning on getting more and then going out of your way to get more.
Well, I wouldn't call it out of the way.
You were already there for other reasons.
Yeah, I was in the comic shop, and I said, well, this is here, so I'll see how it developed.
So you liked it enough to keep going?
Well, I liked it enough to see what happens in the second issue. That's where I'll go right now. But the dialogue was relatively snappy, even though it was filled with some blech. And why does every punk have to be an asshole and creepy? And it's like,
because they're punks.
Well, it's like they say in
this is not punk as in punk rocker. This isn't punk as in young
punk
douchebaggy punk. Yeah, of course they're dicks. That's the whole point. If you were, you wouldn't be a punk.
Yeah, but then they pull, as Cinnamon Sin say, all bad guys are rapists. And it gets all creepy with the 12-year-olds. Like, hey.
No bueno.
I don't care if you're only 14. That ain't fucking good enough, man. Cut it out. So, we'll see how that one works out. Now, you were actually quite impressed with Rucka's Black Magic, right?
I thought it had a great look. The art style, the all-black, tone to it.
Right.
Had an interesting, not seen every day kind of thing, because it's drawn in a way that doesn't make it look black and white, despite being black and white, because it's so grayed out everywhere.
Right. Nicholas Scott's really good.
Yeah. No, the art is incredibly strong, and it pulled you right into the story very quickly.
Right. The whole thing is that Detective Black Magic,
Black Magic Woman,
is a Portsmouth witch. She's drawn away from a vernal equinox ceremony for a hostage situation because she's a cop as well. The hostage taker is demanding to see her, so that's why they brought her in. He apparently needs to kill her, specifically her. He calls for her, he needs to kill her. He set this whole thing up to kill her because some agency has something over him to have her be killed.
Right. Yeah, some witch hunting agenda, presumably.
He wants help, too, but she can't. Maybe too much for her abilities, so he tries to burn her. Her spells prevent it, and she knows a witch hunt is about to start. And she gets that feeling, and she's, oddly enough, going to be right.
Now, that was the one thing that I didn't like. Like, if the one thing witches are vulnerable to is fire, you shouldn't be able to just fire out a spell. It's like, this will now burn you instead of me.
Yeah.
Like, that seems like, like Witch 101, everybody be doing that shit. Like,
yeah. And it would no longer be a vulnerability.
Exactly. Like, it seemed like that should kind of cut through the bullshit, as it were.
Wow, they're wasting a lot of bullets that those magazines don't have room for. We're watching Aeon Flux, by the way, kids.
There's no reason.
With Charlize Theron, not the pseudo-classic from MTV all those years ago that I didn't bother with back then. Yes, you're out, lady. That's what happens when you waste your fucking rounds. Anyway, it was enjoyable, but I didn't get others because I was just kind of...
I'm a little surprised.
Let's see what happens.
Rucka's kind of a big deal for you.
Well, I like him better when he does detective-y shit. Now, I saw that it was, they had the whole badge on the front, but the whole mysticism thing mixed with the police procedural, give me one or the other, So I wasn't sure I was going to like it. I wouldn't call it compelling by any stretch, but it is enjoyable.
Is it something you might revisit, or?
Sure, if I found him in a $1 box, I'd get him. Absolutely. I got no, or a Midtown sale where their fine condition is 47 cents a piece. I get every last fucking one they had.
Where are you in your Midtown glory, by the way? Did you talk about that yet?
No. Well, I mean, we kind of did. We mentioned how much I had gotten. I got over 100 books from this last Midtown sale. I've read The Three Ghosts. I've read
the Grendels.
The Grendels, all 12 Christine Spar Grendels. I've read 12 out of the 17 Terminators. And a
How's
couple
that
of,
book aged?
Oh, I've read the Baltimores, 3 of the Baltimores. Oh, Terminators. Fucking terrible, dude. It is so bad. Tony Caputo should have just sat there and ran the company and not bothered dipping his hand into the whole scribe-y thing. Stay the fuck off the typewriter. And let me tell you, the art is prototypical 80s late teenager beginning to grow into their own kind of art.
I actually have. I found in a dollar box 2 Terminator issues from now of The Burning Earth, the original Alex Ross art.
Yeah. The thing you got to be careful with these Terminator ones is they do kind of draw you in here and there, and then they throw this drawing in there. You're just like, what the fuck were you thinking, dude? And everything is so, it's supposed to be 2031, but oh no, dude, it's 87. The hair, the mullets, the tudes, the stupid Lenin specs in the sunglasses in the middle of a cave. I don't take my fucking glasses off for nobody, man. And I have a vision of what Terminators are like with each other, and it's not a snarky 80s action guy attitude with each other.
They're fucking robots.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm going to write an essay about just how bizarre artificial intelligence attitudes are toward the human race for no fucking reason. I'm going to write one. You watch for it in January.
Hey, duly noted.
Anyhow, that was Black Magic. That leaves us, our poor selves, with We Stand on Guard For. Don't you act like you're going to chuck a knife at me.
What, me? Come
The book
on.
was not that bad.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
As is trendy these days, you got to open up the book with a flashback. You can't just start the story and run with it. You have to go, wait a minute, let me show you something, then we'll get to the story, because it's kind of relevant.
We finally find out what happened to the brother.
Yes. Amber and her brother are hiding out in a neighborhood under attack by flamethrowing Americans. Which is just like, here are the bad guys. They got flamethrowers. They're bad because they have flamethrowers. You know? He sends her through an escape tunnel, surrendering so she can get out. Now, that's the flashback. When they finally decide to show us what's really going on in our quote-unquote now, in Yellowknife, Canada, Amber and the team are having a very modern, topical conversation about immigration. Which kind of works, but, you know, it's incredibly clear that the guy wants to make a point.
Oh, just a tad.
Just a little bit. Over in Vermont, the secretary and the general discussed the destruction of a desalination plant, of which they should have about 80,000 because that's how they get water. So who cares about one plant? I mean, the entire coast should be dotted with desalination plants. I mean, when you've got no fresh water, that's how you get fresh water.
This book does not make Americans out to be bright, let's be honest.
No, not at all. Even though they make giant fucking death mechs. I mean, come on.
Compared to the simple, noble Canadian.
They also discuss propaganda strikes, and the fight at Yellowknife continues with some serious action.
Yes, there's a lot of blowing up.
Yeah. The Canadians escape with the giant truck into a patrol, and Amber sacrifices a team member.
Perhaps.
It sure looks like it to me.
Well,
she wants to desperately. She wants to take out those Americans because they're fucking Americans, and she's had it with goddamned Americans.
Well, it's also that bearded dick that she can't stand, so, it's probably a little easier.
That's added to it as well. So
you have yet another team. Like, this is like the Dirty Dozen with an all-Canadian cast. Like, somebody buys it every issue. They can't even stand the goddamn mech up. Like, this book is driving me insane. I don't care, and I don't care how bad a freedom fighter you are, trust this Amber girl to this degree.
Not that quickly. Canadian or no. It's, I know they need team members, but Jesus Christ, guys. You gotta do better than this.
Are you all about freaking fighting the Americans? Why don't you be our leader then, eh? No.
Lead us to victory, hoser.
Yeah. Good day, eh? No, come on.
3 people recognize Bob and Doug McKenzie.
No, all 3 of them are awesome. Yes, I'm talking to you, Cotton.
There you go. There's our shout out for the episode. Things do ramp up, but I'm kind of glad it's a mini, because I don't know how long you could really sustain this and not piss me off.
I don't think it's good now. I can't only imagine how I'll feel about it 20 issues from now.
Whatever. We don't need to talk about that. We can talk about a good book.
That would be a unique and exciting experience.
It wouldn't be that unique.
No, it really wouldn't be anymore. Like, the number of poor... you think back to the days, you're like, hey, read this Blackbeard book.
Yeah. You take your chances. Some books look good. And, you want to have hope for a pirate book.
All right, that is valid.
Anyhow, so we got the FADEOUT 10. We are ramping up to the climax. So, like usual, there's 700 different turnarounds of plot in this fucking issue. So Dottie is working when she finds Charlie breaking into Bronsky's office. He's there as he and Gil need leverage on Kampf, and they think Brodsky has it. Gil calls Brodsky and taunts him to draw him out. At the rap party, Charlie talks with Maya, but Kampf punches him out, which kind of amused me, because Charlie needs to get punched out just a little more sometimes. Every once in a while, it's like, Charlie, you need a punch, dude. Seriously.
Everybody in this book kind of needs a serious ass kicking.
Yeah, a little bit. He punches him out because he's mad at all the rewrites, and Charlie's like, okay, I'll rewrite it, and then I'll rewrite it again exactly the way I did it the first time, and you'll just have to suck it up, dude, because you got a filming schedule, so ha ha.
Yeah, the screenwriter should not get lippy. Like, that's a bad plan.
No, he's a hired hand, man. That's what he really is. Especially in those days with the studio system.
Yeah, no, it's not a joke. Don't talk up when you write screenplay. Just sit there and be like, yes, sir. I, too, think there should be a giant spider in this scene.
Giant fucking spider! So eventually Charlie does find Brodsky's files with pictures of a young Val. He and Dottie end up talking, and she tells him to just fucking stop, man.
Well, a little more than pictures of a young Val.
Well, there was all kinds of pictures, but
some nasty pictures of a young Val.
The thing that Charlie wanted to get across was that it was Val and there were pictures. It's obviously blackmail material.
Now, let me ask you this. We're going to step outside for a second, because you have gotten a little more sensitive over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And you've been loving this book. Were you disappointed they felt the need to go into a pedophile kind of area?
Yeah. I mean, they already had notions of severe perversion. They didn't really need to bring the whole tone down by also then bringing in non-adults.
Well, see, I thought and I didn't see this coming, but I thought they've been talking about that whole Little Rascal rip-off thing the whole time.
I think they've
been building. Yeah, I didn't either, but it didn't bother me because I think they've been building towards that. I just didn't see it coming till the last minute.
Yeah.
Poor choice of words.
Oh, dude, ew!
I didn't do it, but I know
I've heard that.
I know that that's a hot button item for you of late, so I was curious about your reaction to that. Obviously, the quality of the book kind of throws you off, being like, fuck this book.
I wasn't happy with it, but it's there, it's published, it's in my hands, I'm stuck.
You're not throwing them all away screw you.
I'm 10 issues in. Come on, it's not I'm not an SJW, okay? I'm not triggered by this shit.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we're almost done. It's getting so close, and I can't wait to see what that last issue has in store.
Dude, insanity. Dottie finally kind of reveals her personality, but still, like...
Yeah, it took long enough, didn't it?
Yeah, but still not really clear, like, what side of the angel she's on, you know? She's a very complex character.
I think Dottie has a lot of irons in the fire, and she's just waiting to see which one heats up first.
Hey, you know, it's a corporate job. You got to hold on to your job.
She knows every damn thing. She's the key to the whole thing, I think.
That could be very possible.
Pretty sure. Anyway, do I have to talk about Big Trouble in Little China 17?
Is this book starting to kill you?
A little bit, yeah. As a matter of fact, what I wrote down was that it is a boring commentary on modern con-going and confusing and dumb with all this new demon character. I don't care.
Koshai the Deathless makes his first Big Trouble. Yeah, it's a fantasy con. Like, I didn't quite understand the con thing. Like, the whole point of Big Trouble in Little China was that there was an unseen world that Jack falls into.
Yeah.
If there's fucking conventions in Vegas with mummies, it's not unseen.
This is not a veiled reference to our real world. It's not. It's pretty ham-fisted, as a matter of fact. So, I just can't tell. It's difficult to be certain whether he's making fun of all the people he puts in here and is irritated by them, or if he backs all the moralistic voices in the piece. I'm not real certain. He plays it very subtly in that.
It's a very strange tone. Like, Fred Van Lente is a very funny guy. Like, he does some very unique ideas, but there's always these weird cults, and everything he does has, like, different sects attacking each other eventually.
Yeah.
So, you know, I bet you he's at least blogged on a couple of paranoid sites once or twice in his time. And this book, I mean, honestly, the first one was so much fun that the weirdness of tone didn't bother you, but
Yeah.
now between the 80s super team mercenaries and then this...
You know, they themselves, as individuals, were kind of funny. But the constant need for Jack to be presented with new things and him going, well, we didn't have to do it. Who cares if it's a phone that could do it? I don't care about his fish out of water shit. It shouldn't last 6 fucking
I
issues.
think you have to have some of that because Jack is a... Well, you have to remember you didn't like the movie. Because if you look at the movie, Jack's a character who comments on fucking everything. So of course he's going to do that. So that's actually good writing in the sense that this is a character who can't shut the fuck up. So if you hand him a tiny device that can call the entire world and pull up the internet and hand him porn and free snacks on a regular basis, he's going to comment on it.
Right, well, commenting is one thing, but I mean, his comments make him appear that he feels he is above all these tchotchkes and...
Yeah, but we all, as you get older, tend to be like, well, we don't need that. I remember the first time you saw an iPad. You're like, what the fuck do you need an iPad? You have a phone already. You have a computer. Fuck off with your iPad. Halfway between.
It is excessive, though.
But that's my point. Is he is always going to say that kind of thing because that's that character, and that's fine. I'm not as much in love with the book as I wanted to be.
Yeah.
It started off great, and this storyline and the previous one have not been as strong for me, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to choose to pay for that.
Yeah. It was...
Unfortunately, because it was pretty goddamn funny to begin with.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can probably... What are we up to? 17? So, I ordered 20 today, I think.
Yeah, if I don't see a massive turn in 18, it may be going bye-bye.
All right. Just saying. So, something's got to go on the goddamn block eventually.
That's true.
This is over $100 of fucking stuff a fucking month here, kids. Right, so, yeah, the book does not concern me anymore.
Well, that can happen.
So, over in Harrow County 6 issues already. Wow, that was quick.
That's come out every month.
Yeah, it's
that
actually
used to happen
on
a lot.
time for once. So there's a storm raging as Emmy and Kammi talk late into the night, and except Bernice is kind of unconvinced about the whole Kammi situation. Very, very late in the evening, Kammi leads Emmy to Hester's tree, enamored, enthusiastic even, to the point of wanting to exhume Hester and pay her homage. Emmy's cooler head prevails, however, and Kammi goes into town, mistaken for Emmy, because they're twins. She does the favor for Webb that Emmy wouldn't.
Yeah, well, because it was an evil thing to do.
Yes, it's a wrong thing. It's incorrect, unethical, and immoral. Which is cursing Thad. So
He turns into some sort of plant goblin.
yeah. And turns out that Webb really didn't have to worry about it because his wife was just like, get the fuck out of here. You can't come over like this. What's wrong with you?
Nope.
So she wasn't going to cheat on him. But no, his insecurities have set up the setup for, the first salvos in the Emmy-Kammi war.
Yeah, now, for the first time we get to see what a bad witch is. Suddenly it's like, her dad trying to kill her is slightly more understandable. Like, if I were her dad, I'd be pointing at that chick being like, see? See?
This is what I was trying to tell your ass.
Once you fucked with my chickens, this is what I expected.
With my chickens. So it's enjoyable. It still creeps me out when he can't flip his mind between which kind of eyeballs he's going to give somebody. Oh, look, dots. Oh, look, gigantic orbs filled with emotion.
It's such a strange style for a horror book, but it does work.
Yeah, it is very atmospheric.
And there's another, small town horror story about the hunter that shot a dead deer and the ghost then ate him.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that part. So, I
think it's well worth checking out. Harrow County is creepy. It's doing something that nobody else is. Like, who's ever seen a witch trying not to be a witch? Like, the whole concept is unique. The southern style to it really rings out.
Uh-huh.
It's a very strong book.
I can agree with that. Cool. The other strong book we got.
Yeah, shoot.
We're 16 issues away from the finale. He said, Seeley said that he's going to finish this shit up with 50.
Really?
Yep. So we're on Revival 34.
I'm not going to miss Revival. I'm looking forward to seeing something actually all pulled together. But it's so convoluted now, I don't look forward to it the way I used to anymore.
Yeah.
It's still a great book, but I'm like, I don't even know what's happening.
There's so many threads going on, and they swap almost multiple times on a page.
Yeah.
So poor Dana is distraught. She's tearing up her office. She meets Dad at the hospital, who is looking after John Geiss. And I actually got this old guy's name right for once. I had to flip back like 3 different pages to get it, but because they all are old and they all got bushy fucking beards and they're all just gigantic ancient assholes. So they have this huge long heart-to-heart, which was actually quite nice, I felt.
Yeah, if you ignore the fact that he drunk drove and killed her mother.
Well, sure, you got to pass by that for a moment. But Dana talks to Geiss, who admits that he and Ibrahim are CIA, noting that he had a shmoo encounter. He tells her, look, go to the shop of this dead woman, Rose. And she does, and she finds pics of revivers, the burned guy, a book by Weimar, who was that weird poety guy several issues back who died, and M had a thing for. She goes to the farm, where an operative is letting the burned guy loose to go after M. This was actually one of the more straightforward issues lately.
It totally was.
The long swath of conversation between Dana and Dad actually went a long way towards not making me go, what's happening now? There's at least one revelation finally. So you got slightly more revelations with the artifacts she found in the shop. So we're moving forward.
Yeah, the idea that the Indian character was able to stop or semi-control a Shmoo with the song is interesting. The Shmoo touching a normal human and revealing the day that they die was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple of big plot points. The whole father-daughter interaction was very well done and also revealed the tension that's been lying there. Ibrahim being CIA would have been interesting if they hadn't marginalized that character for the past few. Like when
He's
they were
been tucked off to the side for quite
when
a
they
while.
were in the middle of him being her partner and possible romantic interest, this would have been a major reveal, but that character's been shunted into side storylines for so long.
Right. All true. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting.
But sticking the burnt man on her, who's already pretty unhappy, like, that's not nice.
Yeah, not at all. So, over in Mercury Heat 5, are you still not digging this book at all?
You know what? It's fine. This whole storyline basically just feels like the movie Outland.
A lot like it, yeah. Except it's not drugs, it's
Revolution
based on ecological horseshit. And by horseshit, I mean ethics.
Yes.
No, I mean horseshit.
Business. Honor. Ethics.
There's these battery ships that have been collecting energy from Mercury and are going to eventually go back to Earth and probably other planets to drop it off. They fall under attack by these ecological extremists. And Saul reveals his plan is morally backed. Really, it is. He's the moral one. It's not their planet. Of course, the fact that the planet belongs to no one because there are no living life forms on it has nothing to fucking do with it.
Well, you know, he's so terraformed personally and confused, and like he can look at things emotionally because he's on so many goddamn drugs that he can't actually have emotions, so he has to look logically.
Well, that's it too. Now he killed Mercy, but I can't remember who the fuck that is.
Mercy, he's the big villain. This is the reveal. The original guy gave him the codes, and then they left him outside because he was starting to change his mind.
Yeah.
When heat came from Mercy, she panicked.
Oh, that's right. That's who Mercy was.
So he helped chase her and took her out before she revealed, because she was obviously a crappy fucking revolutionary because she didn't want to die.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Now, during all this, Louisa has Lucas jigger things up on one of the battery ships and hold off an assault. Simon shows up. I can't remember who Simon is either. And Louisa attacks him to determine...
Is the ex-boyfriend that they both wiped their memories of each other?
Yep, that's right. She attacks him to determine his loyalty. Lucas has been leaking info to Saul and company, however, who attacks their ship in a mech. He has a ship set for a crash course, and Lucas gets jettisoned in a leaky suit. Which is just fine, because Lucas is a goddamn asshole. Lucas is a dirty, dirty, dirty man. He's skilled, but he's a gigantic, filthy jackass.
Yes, they... is this a miniseries or is it
when I go to order, there's never like 5 of 12 or anything like that. So who the hell knows?
Because with the death of Lucas, this definitely feels like a miniseries.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to end, but you know, it's cop stuff, so there's no reason there can't be another story after this.
Oh, absolutely. But when you take out the B-level supporting character like that,
right,
it is a tad surprising.
A little bit.
So overall, it's a solid issue. I don't connect to this book the way I want to.
Yeah, there's nothing there that has really hooked yet.
It's fine. Like the concept of being predestined to be certain things and whatnot was interesting, and it's definitely like its science is on point in the degree that the way they look at body morphing and whatnot is well thought out.
Right, is very well thought. I like it a lot. The thing, I think, it's not so much that people are predestined It's that science has finally realized ways to determine that predestination. So you can take advantage of it by putting people in positions where they can take advantage of it. You know, if you're a fucking sociopath, you're probably going to be a good special ops guy.
Yep.
You know, if you've got this hero streak in you, you might be a decent cop. You know, people develop that stuff very, very early sometimes. So if it can be identified, then this is not a bad way to run society in some aspects.
No, you know, I mean, there's a logic behind it. Obviously, it removes all the incidentals that make people people.
Yeah, there is that problem.
But it's definitely a clever concept. It just, like I said, like, no one is overly likable, and I haven't fully embraced the book the way I was hoping to.
And while I like the majority of it, I'm not sure Lopez's art really conveys clarity.
Well,
sometimes it takes effort to tell what's going on the page.
What's the name of the publisher? Avatar?
Yeah, this is an Avatar book.
Everyone who works for Avatar as an artist is hired because they relay gore well. Like, that's the money. Something nasty's going to happen on the page. Can you draw that? Yes, I can.
Here's your paycheck. No,
it's like being a Xenoscope cover artist. You know, like, you only have to nail one thing particularly well.
Oh, you know the frightening thing I saw on the net? Was it yesterday, Wednesday?
What's that?
Maybe it was even in the shop on Tuesday. There's a fucking Xenoscope omnibus that's fucking 3.5 inches thick.
God damn.
Yeah. What? Really? Fucking... Who would buy that gigantic ass book? Creepoids. That's who would buy that fucking book. Creepoids with way too much money. I can't stand it, man. I tried to read, like, free comic book day Xenoscopes and, like, free digitals from Comixology, and I'm like, this is just crap. This is crap, dude. It's total garbage. This is why comic books are not held in well regard. Anyway, what is a well-regarded book, even by us, is Rebels 7. Now, this takes a turn because apparently, Seth's story is over. So we then go to Sarah Hull's story, who is a camp follower, which anyone who's ever read military fiction before the industrial age or fantasy will know is just people that literally follow around military camps and provide services. Right?
Yep.
Everybody knows this. She's a pitcher woman and wife to an artilleryman.
But she's kind of a special wife compared to the average cat.
She's pretty fucking hardcore. She hunts, she provides, she sews, she goes and gets water for the cannons. And when her husband is hit by a shell, she takes over the cannon team, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
She's like, well, somebody got to step up. I'll be right there. Years later, however, when the benefits are to be determined for service, the Veterans Administration equivalent of the time is unfortunately pretty parallel to the Veterans Administration procedures of
this
today.
Time.
Well, you did the work, but one, you were a woman, and two, you were a woman, so fuck it.
Yeah, we'd have to give all the women who got injured helping our country.
Oh my God, we can't have that. You only fucking freed us.
How dare you?
It's unfortunate, but it's far more realistic for a period piece.
Yes.
For that to have happened.
No, you have to respect the period piece that way. Like, yes, this is probably the way it went down. I mean, to this day, that's a challenging area. You know, my dad never got a Purple Heart.
No?
Nope. He got his boat blew up. His back broke when he fucking landed on a railing.
Jesus Christ.
8 months in a Japanese hospital, and you never bled, so no Purple Heart.
Oh, ridiculous.
Like, really, those little hunks of tin are that expensive? You couldn't really respect the man for that one? Not that he gave a rat's ass.
You know,
but
sometimes the requirements and judgments upon those requirements are quite ridiculous.
I mean, my uncle tried to push me. I'm sure if I wrote to them and made a point of it, they'd probably award him one. But what the hell?
Well, especially with the atmosphere of semi-appeasement for people of the era.
But he didn't give a rat's ass. Why should I, But just an interesting little side note on that one. Sadly, the more things change.
Yep, exactly right. But no, she's a hardcore character, and she took them to task verbally, and she sparred with them quite well, actually.
She is... apparently, she's based on a true story to degrees that he's wanted to write for some time. And it's a great little one-shot. Like, everything about Rebels is cool. Again, my major problem with this book is just I wanted 50 fucking issues of set. Like, I was all set for that forever. So I was not expecting a Rebel anthology.
Yeah, we could probably use an anthology. What can I tell you?
Hey, we'll see how it goes. But this was a fine issue. It's still a great book. It's a damn good read.
All right. We're not even close, really. But why don't we move on to Manifest Destiny 18? Even though I fucked up and didn't get 17.
But you bought one.
But I have replaced it. We just didn't get it in time to do this.
Yes.
So we'll skip that.
Concerning the actions 17. Blah, 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 blah.
Something happened. We don't know.
Somebody dies. A giant bat monster wears his head to open the next page.
We start with the rather disgusting fight with the Vamator. Vis-a-vis last issue we didn't read.
Yeah, nastiness.
Lewis and Clark grab hold of the fucker while it's flying. You get dragged into the sky by it, which amused me to no end. They start hacking the shit out of it mid-flight, assisted by the Vezron, Darwag, or whatever his name was. They finally ground it, and then the men hack the living shit out of it. They take the carcass to the Vezron village, where they feast on it. The Vezron propose an orgy, which is rightly refused.
Almost not by Lewis, however, or Clark.
Well, he's more adventurous than fucking anybody ever.
Dude, don't fuck bird puppets. Like, come on. And that's not our title. I just want to be very clear on that. Like that.
I'm not using that as a title. Get the fuck out of here.
Words to live by there.
Don't fuck the bird puppets. They get stiff.
Don't speak from experience.
Later on, however, it comes to light that the team is not only supposed to map out and see what's out there, but their job is to essentially cleanse all potential resistance to American expansion.
Well, potential
which
dangers.
fits the title, really.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and the book makes a really good analogy. It's like, the troops were not bothered by this because they've already done it to the American Indian 4,500 times.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
It's like, we've already been assholes. Like, killing strange bird people wasn't that challenging.
Yeah,
but
so they wipe out the entire village while they're sleeping and drunk.
The poor convict kid that they made a soldier because he crawled up the
that poor
poop
guy.
chute of death.
Of doom. Poop chute of destiny.
Tintin and the poop chute of doom.
Funny.
Yeah.
Disgusting, but funny.
No, it's a great book. I'm very much looking forward to reading the one we're missing because obviously some huge shit happened there.
Yeah, I want to see what else Dingus. I don't want to say Dingus. Dingus has done. Matthew Roberts does some pretty good art. I like his art.
No, everything about this book is great. It is just an awesome read. We almost dropped at one point just because it wasn't interesting to talk about it. So it's great. But no, we've worked that out, and so happy I took a chance on this one.
Well, I did, but you're continuing the book.
Oh, that's right. We traded Uber for this.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we get a new arc in War Stories 13.
Like this one.
Yeah, this one's a bit better. The Yardbirds, which are the newbie fighter pilots arriving at Iwo They're Palmer, Willis, and Abbott. I made a strict
chart
attempt to make sure I knew their names. I didn't attach them to characters, but I know their names. Palmer, Willis, and Abbott. They get a pretty standard new guy routine, but I do like the dialogue, but it's nothing new.
No, it's very much in the same vein, but once again, he's hitting the minutia of war, which is
right.
when I think these things are at their best. Like, because now we're talking about guys who routinely had to bail out because they ran out of fuel.
Right.
Like, these guys are flying to bomb Japan, and because they don't have a lot of bases in that area, they're flying to the very last of their tanks. So they're constantly losing planes and pilots just by running out of fuel. And they literally break down the numbers in this book about casualties. Like, they lose 12 planes and 5 pilots. And that's an acceptable amount for what the damage they're doing. So, just an awesomely cool agenda happening there.
Right.
And this is what I love. And this goes into areas that I'm not expecting or things that I don't know. Like, my interest level ramps right back up. He did lose me a little bit when he had a random hiding Japanese soldier stab one of them.
Yeah, it's like, didn't you just get introduced this fucking issue?
I don't even care about that. But
I know
really,
you're the jerk, but did you have to die now?
Like, that is a unexpected trope right there. Like, oh, yeah, I've been hiding in your base the whole time. Let me stab you.
Okay. Yeah, that was poor Abbott. Poor Abbott got killed because he's the blustery big guy who probably shouldn't have been a pilot to begin with, so whatever. But no, I enjoyed this one. We've only got 2 left, and we're going to end on a down note, and I know you hate that. Unless you want to do them out of order.
No, go for it. Go in your order. Don't confuse yourself.
I mean, they're right in front of me. They don't have to.
Go with your order.
Fine. So, we have now gotten to... Gotten. We've now gotten to issue 2 of Atomic Robo and the Ring of Fire. This is a big one. Huge.
Verklempt.
At Tesladyne, 7 new Biomegas are detected. And for those who weren't keeping score, Biomegas are Clevenger and
Godzilla.
And the other guy's Kaiju.
Yep.
They're Godzilla, they're the giant monsters. So, at the hideout, the action scientists finally get Robo's head working, which, finally pleased me because, anytime I get the potential to hear the phrase banana oil, I'm in charge.
I don't want to read an Atomic Robo book without Atomic Robo. Like, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, it got kind of in the first issue. They can't get the Titans over at Osiris Labs ready to fight the Biomegas without, quote, Broughton reactors. But it turns out Broughton is with the action scientists, so they're never going to get those fucking things. Elsewhere, Ultra, an officer from Ultra, talks to a scientist arguing about who knew what about Biomega and how they're connected, and showing a weakness and flip back. I hate it when they flip back like that. Just give me a few fucking pages of something happening with some group. Oh, they had a quick conversation. Flip the page. Next group. Flip the page. Next group. Come on, man. Get a linear story going. They have a lot. This book is still very funny, but it has gotten deeper and more complex over the last few stories. More.
And so obviously they can't have as linear a story as a result. Because you've got too many elements you have to address here and here.
Well, I keep forgetting what the fuck is the precise difference between Osiris and Ultra.
2 different teams, or 2 different anti-Robo agendas.
Yeah, but which one's whom?
Osiris is the one that's in charge currently. Ultra is the Russian one that's where scientists go when they don't want to work for Tesladyne or Osiris. So Osiris is the equivalent of like the CIA coming in and taking over the FBI, and Ultra would be the KGB, as I understand it. If that helps.
Gotcha. All right, well that's not too bad. Eventually, they make a boxed body for Robo.
That shit was hysterical.
I laughed wholeheartedly at that. And a Biomega attacks. Ooh! It's still fun. It's more convoluted, like you said, than I'm used to. I want a couple more jokes that are actually funny. You've got to reclaim the storyline. Like they've gotten so far afield that you have to bring it all home eventually, and this seems to be them working towards doing that. Yeah, because we've had too many series where Robo isn't even in his own time, really. He's either been displaced he was displaced at the end of one, where he wasn't even really doing anything interesting, and then he spends a pointless period in the Old West, and I don't even remember how it ended properly. And now, boom, he's a head they gave a box to.
He hit himself.
And I love the box. It's funny.
Yeah, it's very amusing. Having consistent scientists is definitely helping the book.
Yes. That helped a lot. But, this pseudo-intrigue between the various groups is just, it's mildly tiring, because it's not what I'm used to, and it's not even as big a scale either. Some of the characters are actually like, okay, I'm rooting for this particular general. I want her team to last. Oh, wait, are they the other guys? Oh, no, they can't win shit. So...
Well, that's the challenge of trying to remember from a miniseries to a miniseries.
Yeah.
This level of detail. Like, if this were a regular book, it would still be challenging, but you're talking, months in between.
Right.
In some of these. Trying to remember what's going on before. But that's, when you get into comic collecting to a larger degree, you have those kind of challenges.
Oh, yeah.
You
gotta work sometimes at your enjoyment of a book.
When you only have one book that you like, it's easy to remember.
Yeah.
When you only own 8 comic books, you can figure that shit out. You reread. When's the last time you pulled something out and read a bunch of them to get back into the plot point?
Not for a long time.
And you have some stuff like Saga would totally be rewarding to do that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
to catch back up to the full storyline.
And
Same
I'm sure
with
Revival. There's plenty of stuff that would benefit from revisits, but we have gone so fucking overboard in search for good books, and then enjoying those good books, and then saying, well, shit, that was great, give me more. And we are fucked up.
Yeah, well, I mean,
we got a lot of goddamn books. I see people tweeting that this is my Tuesday haul, or Wednesday haul, and there's like 4 whole books on them. Like, that's all that appealed to you this week?
Yeah, but I remember going out and buying comics and being like, yeah, done. Right, there's a lot of great books and a lot of different styles right now.
Yeah, that makes it very difficult. I see way too many people focusing on individual companies, though, and I guess if your money is far more limited than mine is, not to say by any stretch that I have unlimited resources.
No, but I
have fewer obligations than a lot of people.
To put it in a slightly nicer way, comics are a slightly higher priority in your day to day than some other people. Like if
what's the nasty way to put that, asshole?
No, I'm not knocking you at all, but if you had 5 kids, you wouldn't be spending that much on comic books.
No, not by a lot, which is what I just said.
But you made it sound like
far lower responsibilities.
My disposable income just flies out the. When I'm not banging supermodels, I buy myself comic books. Deal with it, bitches.
Wait, no, there's just the comic books.
Yeah.
Really. Don't even try. So anyway, I hate to finish with this one, but I think that maybe you can salvage the ending of the episode with this book.
All right, what do you
got? We have the unfortunate Babushka 1. And I see you straining against the headache even now. It's an okay enough book, but it really doesn't stand out in dialogue, plot, or art. Babushka's a Russian mafia killer seeking asylum in the U.S. and then gets recruited by yet another acronymed fucking government agency. My Christ.
This book is a result. If the Black Widow, Red One, and Velvet all had some sort of total TJ fantasy threesome, and then you ran that through a blotter and took all the talent and hotness and ability
and
threw the rest in a blender, poured it into a pile of dog shit, this would be what fucking came out of the chill freezer at the end of your encounter.
Wow.
This book is so unnecessary. I remember reading this and I'm just like, why am I... This happened because of Velvet.
Yeah.
Because you bought Velvet, I bought Red One, so I didn't miss out. And we thought Red One was okay. And then, because I got Red One and we thought it was okay, you're like, well, I'll get Babushka. I'm not missing out on the possibility of that getting better. So this is actually this is like trickle down to comics, economics. This is why it doesn't work, because you end up with shit like this. You're like, oh, let me try this, let me try this, let me try, motherfucker, Yahtzee.
I was not remotely impressed by this fucking book.
I was happy it was over.
I don't care about it. I don't want another one of them.
Did you get the second one?
I don't. No, because it would have shown up by now, unless of course it was late. I don't think I did. If I did, I will probably not bring it and put it in the spare room for potential toilet paper replacement. Oh, look, I forgot to get paper.
Staple!
No, that's not how it works. Oh, God, asshole. Oh, God, asshole. And, kids, we like to leave the episode with a feeling of, ugh. So I think we're going to call this one even, huh?
Enjoy your staple nightmare,
that book
kids.
Anymore, man. Enjoy what?
Enjoy your staple nightmare.
Get us out of here.
Bless you, fuckers!
And away.
The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. Find us on Facebook, Stitcher, Twitter under @TheMeanerGeek. Subscribe to us through RSS.
Or we can be located at our own site, www.themeingeek.com. And most importantly of all, you can find us as a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network.
Email us directly at themeanergeek@gmail.com.
Can I drink now?
You may.